Oh my God.
What's up, YouTube? Thank you for your time today. Thank you for watching this video. Today I'm going to get into a review. I'm going to talk about Love, Death, Robots. I'm going to talk about this Ice Age episode just because it's one of the most memorable episodes. And I'm really falling for this show. It's literally the opposite of Black Mirrors to me. It's literally the opposite, except with this show, it's more, there's some anime in it, there's some cartoons, there's some little stuff to play with, but there's always a deep concept to a lot of these episodes. And just like I said, this Ice Age episode, I had to talk about it just because, it's just so memorable, and it just gave me this huge perspective about just the universe itself. Like this episode made me question like how old the Earth is, how much soil we have on Earth, how many minerals we have on Earth, like just all kinds of questions. Like it just made me like ramble through in my mind. But just to give you guys a plot to like what is this episode about? So basically, it's an episode of these two couples named Rob and Gail. They come into their new apartment and they discover a refrigerator, right? But this refrigerator has, I would call it, you know, I would call it a parallel universe. I think that's what I would call like what they see when they open up the refrigerator. So they open up this refrigerator and it has a whole civilization, and I believe it starts off with like the medieval times. See, this is when I got to get into like my time periods and stuff and the timeline. And I wish I had that much knowledge, but yeah, it starts with medieval times. And what's cool about this episode is just the visual of how the refrigerator looks and just how it looks. It's like this little, like it's almost like an Earth in a way. And then it gets into the Industrial Revolution, and then as the show keeps going, I believe it comes to a point where they close the fridge and they come back and see it, and then this whole thing erupts and it like gets into this dude Rob's face, and his face is like burnt up and stuff, and it just shows like a war that happened, which happens in humanity, like so many wars that's being fought. And then you just see that then when they close the refrigerator and they open it back up again, then it's like a whole new civilization, but except you just see this crazy advancement with like a pyramid, and you just see flying cars, and it looks like Wakanda, but it just shows like as time goes on. I mean, by this time it looks like, I would even say through this time period, I mean it shows from like the early 1700s all the way up to like that year looked like the year 5000 or something. But just throughout the episode, it gets to a point where you see you see the evolution, you see flying cars, you see flying ships, and you see like this big pyramid, you see these buildings. I mean, it looks like the year 5000. And then everything else, it just seems like in that scene where everything just starts to spin around, like all this energy, and then you just see like this big poof, and everything is gone. So then you see Rob, he ends up unplugging the refrigerator, and then they come back the next morning. And what tripped me out about this episode was when they opened up the refrigerator, they was expecting to see nothing, but when they opened it up, all you see was a dinosaur, a T-Rex Rex, and you just see like a dinosaur, and they're like it's almost like a reset. And I try to look up so many theories to that, like how do we go from evolution of humanity to, I guess, completely destroying ourselves, to dinosaurs. And I guess how dinosaurs reappears at the end of the episode. I looked at it like, when you unplug a refrigerator, everything defrosts, everything just gets desert, everything gets dry. So I'm assuming, bacteria or some type of species just develops a form of a dinosaur. Like, that's my perspective. That's my theory on it. You guys tell me your theory, but for it to, when I seen dinosaurs, I'm like, it had me thinking like, wow. It had me like, this is when my perspective comes. It had me thinking like, what if Earth is like 1.6 billion years old. So maybe at some point in time there was humans that developed flying cars, solar panels, solar energy. There was a civilization where we had all that. And then, you could get into the Bible and you could get into destruction because there was a flood on Earth. And I know just so much history, so much advancements got wiped away. But what if we're like in this recycled continuum of, I mean, at some point we're leading to the future of, some people will call it destruction with technology. We're using we're harnessing so much energy from the sun. I mean, there's so many different revenues you can say, but at some point, I mean, just the overall thing of just that whole episode made me think of what if there was a time where we already had humans and stuff and all that died out, and now we're just part of this cycle of, right now we're in 2021 and we're already kind of seeing it with, the Tesla cars and smart cars and stuff. And when we get to a point where we get so advanced where we just destruct ourselves and, what if there's like a whole new rebut and, like a whole new restart on this journey of life, or the universe, you would like to call it. But it just really triggered, this episode really triggered my mind to really think of a bigger, broader picture of just the time span of, just think of 1 billion years on Earth, of how much transpired within 1 billion years. I just thought that this was like a really cool episode. I mean, I really want to hear your guys' opinions. To be honest, I want to hear I want to see comments of like, what did you take from this episode? But for me, me personally, I just took evolution. That was like the key part of what this episode was about, and it just gives you a broader picture of just the evolution itself, man. Like I said, the visuals and how they made this episode, it was cheesy. And I believe this episode was like about 13 minutes long. It wasn't long either, but this was definitely one of the most memorable episodes. And I just wanted to make this review for you guys, man. I hope, you guys have an opinion, and what is your theory? Because I could be wrong, but I just learned that this episode just made me question a lot of things. And, how much can Earth really produce? And as far as humanity, how far can we go without destruction, destroying ourselves? But one thing I would also like to take away too is, just the idea of build and destroy. In order for things to evolve, something has to be destroyed. And that's what I kind of seen from this episode too. Create and destroy, destroy and create. It's like a yin and yang balance. But that's just my perception of it. But you guys drop a comment below. I want to hear your opinion, your theories on this episode. And, I probably want to do a lot more of reviews for you guys and just try to get like a perception or, a specific topic that I could touch on and talk about. And this is just one of those videos. So if you haven't seen it, it's Love, Death, Robots. It's on the first season. It's called Ice Age. I recommend you guys watch it for yourself and, get your own perspective. So until next time, guys, make good decisions, listen to your parents, and have a good one, guys. Peace.